Batman and Superman have a long history together, especially in regards to punching each other in the face. So much so that I'm splitting this top 10 video into 2 parts. One this week and one next, so be sure to return for that. Unless you hate this video, in which case you are free to go. No harm done. You know, except my pride and my ego and my feelings. Anyways, let's get into it. Fights 10 through to 6. And of course, spoilers for all of these stories. Superman's Sacrifice is a collection of comic book issues from the mid-2000s that sees a brainwashed Superman go head-to-head with a number of Justice League members, including Batman. And by going head-to-head, I mean a brainwashed Superman believing he's actually fighting Darkseid and beating a severely underprepared Batman half to death, who looks as if he was just casually checking his emails? Not cool, Superman! But at the same time, if you're gonna fight Batman, it's probably the best way to do it. The Dark Knight Strikes Again, the follow-up to the critically acclaimed The Dark Knight Returns, is not a good book. The story is unnecessarily convoluted with a poorly written Superman, because let's be honest, writing Superman is not Frank Miller's strong suit. Plus it features some of the most bizarre and haphazard art DC has ever allowed to be published. That being said, it does feature a Batman-Superman showdown like the original, except this time it's in the Batcave. But again, with the same result of Batman just pummeling Superman. Much more efficiently than he did the first time. I mean, I guess at this point he's had some practice. I don't know. And of course, this time he employs more allies. Like I said though, not a good book, but not without some redeeming moments. And again, I must stress, those moments are not in the art. Seriously, look at this! I could create this in Paint! And I have. Bam! Some people watching this are probably not going to like this one, and sure, it probably is cheating. But anyway, here I've lumped 3 animated Batman-Superman showdowns together. First up, we have Batman and Superman's first meeting from their individual series from the 90s. A crossover that inexplicably features Batman hurling Superman across the room? Okay. Next is Batman's encounter with a red kryptonite-affected Superman in Batman the Brave and the Bold, also featuring Krypto the Superdog. And lastly is Terry McGinnis's future Batman up against a mind-controlled future Superman in Batman Beyond. All of these are definitely worth a watch, which you should do concurrently. Also, I should mention, if you're wondering where some of the other animated fights are, let's just say you may be seeing some of them down the line. Wink. I'm winking, but you can't see that I'm winking. That's why I said wink. Lex Luthor Man of Steel is a great read, and you should read it out loud on a crowded bus. Though it does mostly follow the exploits of lunatic businessman Lex Luthor, it also features a completely dialogue-free Batman-Superman fight. Bruce Wayne, of whom was recently gifted a piece of kryptonite from Luthor, unwisely decides to try it out on a new on-the-scene Superman. What's great about this showdown is that it doesn't have Superman getting in close and then he has like a clunky, depowered punch-up. He blows it out of his hand, drags him into the sky, and then unceremoniously dumps him in an alley. He then pulls up just short of punching a hole through his head because, well, that's not a cool thing to do to somebody. See, the great thing about this is, it's not just another one of those, oh, Batman wins because he's Batman, you know, one of those scenarios. It shows the reader that you can't just half-ass a battle with Superman. Because, you know, he'll just beat you up real good. And you'll be like, ah, my bones! I fell in this alley! At number 6 is Injustice, Gods Among Us. The tie-in comic, not the game. Both are great, but I think the comic is better? The whole story's focus is on a distraught, unhinged Superman attempting to bring order to the world via a superhero-run dictatorship. And Batman, among others, very much being about the opposite of that thing. So far in the run, we've only really had one solid face-to-face battle. And by battle, I mean Superman just casually picking up Batman and shattering his back over his knee. The best part of this fight, and I use that term loosely, is Alfred's surprise intervention, delivering what is probably the greatest headbutt in comic book history, followed by a kick to the face so hard his shoe explodes off his foot. If you haven't read Injustice, you totally should. It's great, and it will no doubt include some more direct Batman-Superman stuff in the near future, which would probably move this story higher up on the list. Also, if you love the idea of a Superman who's gone so mad that he decides to tuck his cape into his chest, well, this book is certainly for you. Thanks everyone, and don't forget to check back next week for some honorable mentions and fights 5 through to 1. If you're watching this after that video has come out, I'll link it at the end and also below. And I should mention, I have a podcast. It's called The Weekly Planet. It's out every Monday via the terrific comicbookmovie.com. It covers an array of things, including movies and comics and TV shows, all sorts of stuff. I will also link that below if you care. But what do you think should be number 1 on this list? Because in all honesty, I'm still having trouble deciding what it should be. So any feedback you could give me would be much appreciated. All right, that's about it. Thanks everyone. Take care.